Hi friends, this is Miss Jessie from the Central Library of the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library, and today I'm back with another STEM Saturday challenge. So today we are going to be making butter. Well, first we're going to make whipped cream and then butter. Same process though. Just need two things for this today. You need a jar. If you've got a mason jar, that would work. I happen to just have a sauce jar that I had from my recycling bin that I've washed out and cleaned really well. And then you need heavy whipping cream. So I ordered this from the store and it came today, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this for you. So all we're gonna need to do is pour whipping cream into a jar, pour it about half full, and then we just need to use our muscles and we need to shake it, shake and shake and shake and shake. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that started up and then I'll show you how we do this. Okay, so I filled my jar about halfway full with heavy whipping cream, and I made sure the lid was on real tight, like really tight. You don't wanna make a mess. And what you actually need to do is shake the jar like this, up and down, for a pretty long time. So I'm gonna go ahead and shake this jar and I'll be back. I'm gonna set a timer. I'm gonna shake it for about 2 minutes and I'm gonna come back and show you what we've done so far. Shook it for 2 minutes and I don't know if you can see this, but it's getting thicker already. If I shake this for another 2 or 3 minutes, I bet I'm gonna have whipped cream. So let me go ahead and do that, set my timer again, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've been shaking it for about another minute and a half. And I can already hear it changing. It doesn't sound like a liquid anymore. It sounds kind of like a foam. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it and I'm gonna show you that I now have a very kind of liquidy whipped cream. If I kept going for a few more minutes, I could definitely get a good whipped cream that I would consider to be like, for a sundae, for an ice cream sundae, or maybe on top of some hot chocolate. At this point, if you want to make salted butter, so if you're gonna put this on something, maybe like on your bread for dinner or something like that, you could put some salt in here. Just a couple tablespoons. I'm actually gonna go ahead and do that myself. You could leave it as an unsalted butter, and then you could use it for baking. Put my lid on again real tight, and I'm gonna keep shaking. I'll be back in, let's say, I'm gonna give it another 3 or 4 minutes, about 5 minutes. And I just wanna show you what's happening in here. So you can definitely see that we're no longer at whipped cream. We've got something solid going on inside this jar, right? It's moving around and it's kind of coating the glass on the sides. It's way more solid. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep shaking and I'll be back for 4 minutes of shaking. And now I definitely have another change here. So now when I shake it, it's starting to sound wet again. Why would that have happened? So what has happened here is my agitation, I'm agitating this material, and I've actually started to separate out the solid and the liquid that was in my whipping cream. So now what I'm creating here is butter in the center. Right now it's kind of a whipped butter consistency, but we're gonna get almost all the way to stick butter. And I've found the buttercream has come out here. So I'm gonna keep shaking for another few minutes. I really want that middle part to be very solid, but now I'm getting the solid to separate out from the liquid. My agitation of this jar has actually started to make the fat molecules in my whipping cream stick together. And those fat molecules is what's making the butter in the center. So I'm gonna shake for another 2 or 3 minutes. I'll be right back. Back at my sink, and I'm going to separate out the solid from the liquid. So I've set up 2 jars or 2 bowls here, and I have a strainer in one of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour my jar, which now you can see there's a nice solid ball in there. It took another, I think 3 to 4 minutes for us to get to that point. I could definitely hear that it was all liquid that I was hearing when I shook the jar. And also the jar actually felt a little cold. The liquid happens to be colder than the solid. So I was feeling cold where my hands were on the outside of the jar. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pour out my buttermilk. I'm gonna save that because I'm gonna try and find a recipe online to make with buttermilk. But now I've got butter in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use a spatula and I'm gonna get it out and put it into that bowl right there. And I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do next. Now you can definitely see that in one bowl, I have buttermilk. That's this bowl right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that to the side so I don't drop that. And now I've got butter in this bowl, but I'm gonna actually try and make it into what you would consider butter, so like a stick of butter. So right now it's pretty soft. I've washed my hands really well, I promise. You can see it's kind of soft. So I'm gonna actually try to form this into a ball. And I'm going to use another method to change its form yet again. I'm going to use cold water to make it form into a more solid form. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get my sink on.
I'm gonna get it as cold as it can possibly get. I'm gonna let it run for a few minutes. And then I'm gonna put cold water over my ball here. And I'm gonna keep rinsing off the liquid and see how hard I can make this. I'll be right back. Water, and I've rinsed it off a couple of times. I got one more rinse here to go. There's just some cold water in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dump that off using my strainer. I just don't want to get this into the sink. Whoops. There we go. And now you can see I have solid butter. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you enjoy this project, and let me know how your whipped cream or your butter turns out. Have a great Saturday, and I'll see you next week. Bye.